And we welcome you to Homefield Advantage, brought to you by Bear Lake Memorial Hospital and Jake Major with the Bullock Agency of Wyoming. I'm Elon Olive, joined by Aaron Poling and Anthony Colasuno. Boys, we got a great show for everybody. Of course, we've got a lot of rich track news, and for good reason, Aaron.
Yeah, so for the first time since 2012, it's actually a really interesting story. The Rich Rebels win a girls' track state title. And not only do they win a state title, they win a state title over a team that was going to try to break the state record for most consecutive track titles in the form of the Panguitch Bobcats. And they came out and they ended up winning by a good 40-plus points. So they did a lot of really good, ended up winning it. I don't want to say fairly easily because it was a lot of stress to go through, and they still had to complete some events, but they ended up winning it with a pretty good cushion at the end.
Also, Evanston completed their 2023-2024 high school sports season at the state track meet. Kai Barker is your state high jump champion, so congratulations to him. The future Weber State athlete, he's going to be competing in high jump and decathlon. Should be a lot of fun. And we got later on, we're going to hear from, for Rich, we're going to hear from Glenn Smith, Paige Smith, and of course Violet Taylor. Over in the Bridger Valley, they're kind of just putting the finishing touches on things, and we'll be talking more about Bridger Valley tomorrow in the student section.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be talking to Morris. We have interviews with both principals, Lyman High School, Chris Tucker, and Mountain View, Ben Carr.
Awesome. We're going to go ahead and hear from Coach Roy Barker of the Evanston Red Devil track team about how state went and some exciting things in the future of Evanston Red Devil track. Here with Evanston Red Devils track coach Roy Barker. Coach Barker, you guys went to state, got some titles, a pretty successful week for you guys. Just kind of give us a little bit of a report on that.
Yeah, state went really well. The kids performed excellent. It was very competitive this year. We had a lot of kids perform really well, and some of them didn't place. But they were, we had a lot of 9th and 10th places with some young kids. And then a lot of our older kids and, our top kids scored well. They performed really well with good marks, and it was fun to watch.
Go ahead and talk to us a little bit, of course, about the one highlight we've heard is Kai Barker's now the high jump state champion. Some other hardware brought home. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Kai was our only state champ this year, an all-state kid. But the boys team actually took 4th place overall. And so that was really exciting. We scored 62 points, which is a lot of points. Most points we scored for a couple of years. And our top sprinters, Gabe and Aiden, were able to score in all their events. And it was very, very competitive. In the 200, Aiden Hartzell broke the school record, and so did Gabe. So they both broke their school record, but they took 4th and 5th in the 200. But the kids that took 1st, 2nd, 3rd all broke the state record. So that's how competitive it was this year in the sprints. And so those kids did really well. And, they're very deserving of an all-state award, but weren't able to get that this year. But they're just proud of them and their efforts. The distance kids did really well. Paul Baxter had a great season. And Jamar McDowell and Aiden Conrad and Gideon Stahl placed really well in the 4x8. And then our 4x4 team was excellent. But we had a couple of good, not really surprises, but good performances by Trayton Weidrich and Cameron Hyatt, both taking 5th place in the pole vault and the triple jump. So with all those points together, we ended up scoring really well and took 4th place. And then on the girls' side, Jocelyn Kapner and Talia Conrad were the two kind of highlights as seniors, and they were able to place in their events, and we're really proud of them as well. And then we had, like I said, we had a lot of young girls that performed well, they just didn't score.
Coach, when you look at this season kind of being now in the rearview mirror and what's coming up with the young talent that's there, do you feel like there's a lot of reason to be excited about the future of Evanston Red Devil track?
Yeah, really, we really are. I think we talked about last night at our little banquet that we had, and I look at over the last 5, 6, 7 years since I've been the head coach, and there's a lot of names that lead to a lot of legacy. Some of the kids that we've had in the past, Tyrell Halliday and Cody Smith and Gabe Morris, and some of those kids that really performed well, years ago that affected the kids that are running today. And I think that those kids today that are seniors are going to affect those behind them. And so hopefully that continues, where there is a longevity of high expectations as we move forward. Like I said, I think the girls have a lot of really good young talent, and the boys as well.
That is Coach Roy Barker, head coach for Evanston Red Devil Track. Coach, thank you so much for the time. Congratulations on another great season. Anything else before we wrap this up?
No, thank you. I appreciate it.
Big thank you to Roy Barker, Evanston Red Devil Track coach, also Evanston girls basketball coach, for just all the time he's given us throughout the year, and just a great guy to talk to. And we really, really appreciate him and wish him and a happy summer, and we'll talk with him then. One thing that stood out, of course, Kai Barker, he wins the state title. School records broken, both the 100 and the 200, so that's really, really cool.
Yeah, no, that's one of the best parts about these state track meets is it's really the culminating event, and just how often I feel it happens all the time where you go out and you run your PR at the state meet, and some kids do that all the time. And Kai Barker, of course, comes out, breaks some records. What a better time to break the records on your way into a state title.
Yeah, breaking school records and the cherry on top, the state title. And of course, he's gonna continue his track and field career at Weber State, going to be in the Big Sky Conference, a future Weber State Wildcat. But just big congrats to Evanston Track this year.
Well, we also have to mention Gabe Hutchinson. He was the one who broke the school record in the 100-meter dash, which is awesome. He's had a great career. I know that he's definitely going to be someone that we talk about for a long, long, long time. I mean, I didn't get to broadcast any track around at his time, but I did. He was on the football team, and he had that play against, I want to say it was Lander, where we knew if he could ever just get out in space, he was gone. And it happened in that Lander game. He broke off to the left side, and boom, like a rocket, he was gone. And it's been a lot of fun to watch those guys. And then, of course, Paul Baxter's had a great year. Jamar McDowell, Conrad, as well as Stahl. Those guys in that 4x800. Of course, they broke school record. Excuse me, at the regional tournament, and their names are going to hang up there for a long time. That record is 40 years old, so we'll see how long this record lasts. But usually, if it takes 40 years to break a record, it's not going to be broken anytime soon.
Yeah, good luck finding 4 people that want to run an 800-meter race. That's that could be a big part of it too. That's a brutal race. It's also a brutal relay, man. 800 meters, then you hand the baton off. I'm just a big proponent of not ever running the 800 again. That's one of the races I ran in track. In that race, either you sprint the first lap and you slow down the second lap, or you slow the first lap, sprint the second lap, and either way, it is a brutal. I would
be walking all 2 laps.
This is in theory of in my quote unquote athletic prime. I'm not doing this now. If I tried to run an 800 race against anything, I'd probably lose.
I could beat a turtle.
That's what we should do. We should have a track and field event to see who's the fastest.
Oh my gosh! Nope.
And we should eat fast food right before and make it even more.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna go that far. No, Anthony, because we're gonna run one lap. We're gonna run the 100-meter dash, and we're gonna be done. Or we have to do a 200 next. No. My local radio presents the boys do track and field.
The boys
oh my gosh.
do track.
People would come up and watch that.
I don't know if people would come up and watch it.
I don't think they'd watch. They'd watch the video to laugh at us.
Yeah, that's true. They'll watch the video.
It's weird when a sports video turns into a comedy video. Because that's what would happen, and we know it. And we know it.
All right, moving on. So congratulations to Evanston and Red Devil Track and Field. Great season, and congratulations to all of them. All right, moving on. Rich Track and Field. Big news, and that's pretty much going to take up the rest of the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Couple of really good things happened over at Rich as we previewed the show on Wednesday. If we preview the show a little bit on Thursday, we'll have an interview with a 1A golfer for Rich, as well as they won the boys state title in golf. So pretty interesting week over at Rich High School, but we're going to focus on the girls today. And, Violet Taylor comes home with 4 state titles, and Paige Smith comes home with 2. Haiti Pugmire comes home with 2. Unfortunately, we don't have time for her interview today, but, she came home with 2 throwing titles that looked really improbable because her first 2 throws were really bad. And then, in discus, she hucks one out there, wins it. Just all of these titles. In total, there were 10 different titles won by the Rebels outside of the team title, as they won a couple of the relays as well. And, man, every single one of those was huge. getting them to win the state title, as we have an interview right now with Glenn Smith. It is with Glenn Smith.
Head coach of the Rich Rebels varsity track team and now head coach of the girls varsity state championship team. It's Coach Glenn Smith. And Coach, you guys got it done. Go ahead and just take me through the weekend and some of the key points to you guys taking the championship home.
Well, it was a fun weekend. First of all, it started off good. We had Lyda and Paige start off in the 2 mile, and they did excellent in the 2 mile. And then the high jump was next, and Paige won the high jump. And then we just kept rolling. Of course, we had Violet that won 4 events. We had Haiti that won 2 events. Then our 4x1 and 4x4 team also won their respective events. And then we had quite a few second place finishes as well.
So you talked about the first events with Paige and Lyda. I talked to Paige earlier, and those are a couple of the younger girls in the program. One of the things that kind of stood out to me is just some of the placement of the younger girls in the program. Obviously, with the track team, it's a team game, and it was almost expected that Violet was going to win all of her state titles. But what about the performance from your younger kids that really made it a key to winning the state title?
Yeah, the younger kids stepped right in. So Lyda scored a lot of points. Molly scored a lot of points. Bray scored a lot of points. And there was just, a lot of, and helped in the relays. And so, yeah, we had a lot of younger girls that just stepped up and helped us win the state championship.
How key was that first event? You talked about Paige getting out there, and she won the 3,200. Not only won, broke a record for the school. How important was that first event, and do you think that was really key going forward?
I think that one set the tone, and then in the high jump, when she beat Tabitha from Panguage, that kind of set the tone a little more, saying, oh, yeah, we can beat them, we can do this. So, and then, of course, we had a lot of PRs set, and so everyone just kind of stepped up. Like you said, the younger girls stepped up, and Molly placed second in the long jump, second in the 100, and second in the 200. So we took a lot of 1-2 in the sprints.
So we talked about the younger girls on the team. Now let's talk about the older girls. That's a lot of leadership that you have on this team. Before we even get into the events, just talk about the leadership that the girls had.
Yeah, so the girls, after last year placing second, they were real excited about coming back, and they all wanted to win it, of course, this year. And so they went out and recruited kids and told them about track and how fun it was going to be. So they got the younger kids involved, and some of the older kids that hadn't done it in the past, they got them involved. And so it was, it was a lot of fun. They got, all the kids in school, they got the cheerleaders involved, the wrestlers involved, the girls basketball players involved, volleyball players. So as many as they could get, they got to come out and helped us to win it.
Let's go ahead and talk about the performance on the track. Obviously, Violet wins 4 individual titles. Haiti ends up winning a pair of throwing titles. How big of the performances from your seniors were key to winning the state title?
Oh, it's huge. When you get 60 points from 2 girls, that's pretty impressive. And so it was definitely a key with those 2 coming back and performing well and even better than what they had the previous years.
So it had been since 2012 since the Rich girls varsity track team had won a state title, and the team they won it over, I've asked this if there was any satisfaction over winning the title over Panguage. Obviously, because they've been so dominant in track, that is satisfying, but with the way the other 2 sports seasons ended so far this year, it has to be a little more satisfying to beat Panguage here in track.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It was, so Panguage had won it for the last 10 years, and then not the COVID year, of course, because we didn't have it, but so for 10 years in a row, they were looking to tie a state record with 11 titles in a row, so it felt good to not let them tie the state record, and then also beating them after they had beat us in both volleyball and girls basketball.
So let's go ahead and put the coach's hat on real quick. Obviously, you have the dad hat and the coach's hat with Paige being your daughter. Take me through, as a coach, what it meant to you to win the state title, and then after that, what it meant as a dad for Paige. And, I don't want to say father figure for all these girls, but obviously a coach for a long time. What does it mean to you to see the individual state titles for these girls?
To me, it's real exciting to see it. Just shows their growth from when they were freshmen all the way till now, how much they've improved and how much they've worked at their various events. And as I look through the times and the distances, they've all improved. And Violet, of course, has set state had state titles. Haiti has had school records that have been up there on the board for a long time, and so it's fun to see the growth in each one of the kids on where they come in and how they go out.
One final question for you. Give me a lasting memory from this year that you'll have outside of winning the championships.
Well, so there was two of them. First of all was my daughter Paige running without her shoe for 600. That was quite impressive to me. I haven't had that happen in my 27 years coaching, where a girl or a boy has lost a shoe and had to finish 600 meters without a shoe. We did have earlier in the year Hudson Perry lost his shoe at about the 200 mark, so he ran 200 without a shoe. But other than that, those are the two instances when that's happened. And then the other one was our girls 4x4 team that had Amelia, Naya, Lacey, and Bray on it. They came out of the blocks, and we were behind probably by about 20 meters, and they just all ran great 400s. And Altamont had beat us in the 4x4 all year long, and we ended up beating them by about a second or two at the end of the race, and it was a real exciting race and fun. So those are a couple memories that I'm going to have.
I want to thank Coach Glenn Smith for being a part of today's show, as that's just one of the first of 3 interviews we have talking about Rich Track. When we come back, we'll have an interview with Violet Taylor, who won 4 state titles this year, to add to her trophy collection of a lot of state titles so far in her career. But we got to take a quick break here on the Homefield Advantage, presented by My Local Radio Sports Network. I'm Aaron Poling, Elon Olive, and Anthony Colasuno joining me. We'll be right back.
When you have an emergency, choose Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. Open 24/7, the professional emergency room staff is trained for trauma, medical, cardiac, pediatric, orthopedic, and obstetric emergencies. Bear Lake Memorial is a critical access level 3 trauma center, offering immediate access to radiology, lab services, surgery, and internal medicine consults. The ER teams are well-trained professionals who are ready to act when you have an emergency. Bear Lake Memorial Hospital, the most caring hospital on earth.
Out here, we've always worked remote. Out here, stress usually refers to the pull on a rope. Where a stroll in the city is also a stroll in the great outdoors. Where work is a way of life, and life is good. Out here, the backyards are big, and the deals, they're even bigger. This is southwestern Wyoming, and it's where you can get the biggest deals on a vehicle you want, with plenty of hometown hospitality. Heritage Auto, your hometown dealer with the biggest deals.
Whether it's for your home, your ranch, your equipment, or your business, when you need propane, count on the best. T7 Propane in Woodruff. The safe and professional team at T7 Propane offers quality product and the most responsive propane service in the area, so you can enjoy the affordability, reliability, and efficiency of propane. For heating, cooking, grilling, motor fuel, and more, count on the team at T7 for your personal or business propane needs. 435-793-4208.
At Reese Auto Service in Lyman, you will find highly skilled mechanics who will get the job done right the first time. They work on anything from light line jobs of tire alignments, suspension work, and oil changes to heavy line jobs of engine replacement, differentials, and all powertrain components. Make sure all your recreational vehicles are working at top speed by getting them checked at Reese Auto Service in Lyman, so your time having fun doesn't end early. Reese Auto Service, 541 State Highway 413, Lyman.
Welcome back to Homefield Advantage, presented by Jake Major with the Bullock Agency of Wyoming and Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. And a shout out to some of our sponsors: T7 Propane, First Bank of Wyoming, Les Schwab, Plains and Tires, and Union for sponsoring our high school broadcast, but also this show. None of this would be possible without any of our sponsors, so big thank you to you guys. As Aaron, we're still celebrating Rich Track and Field today. Who's next on our interview table?
Yeah, so next on the table will be Violet Taylor, as I get those mixed up. But Violet is, just an incredible athlete. This wasn't her first year being a multi-time state champ in track. And she broke the state record last year, just continued breaking her own record this year. And, broke a couple of other school records in some events that she kind of just jumped into this year, which I think is the most impressive part, is that her third and fourth best events are also school records for Rich High School. Jeez. As we'll go to that interview right now.
Here with Violet Taylor, who won 4 individual state titles and was a huge part of the Rich Girls High School varsity track team, winning a first state title in a long time. Violet, now that it's all over, how do you feel about it?
I feel like it's the culmination of a lot of hard work, and it's like appropriate that we won, and it's great, and it just feels right.
Were you, along with Coach Smith, kind of checking some of the prior times before you guys went down to the meet? Because I know talking to him, he was definitely checking times out, and you guys blasted through your times with winning by over 40-plus points.
Yeah, there was a lot of preparation, and I think there was a lot of excitement generated, and yeah, we were just checking times and places throughout the 2 weeks before it. So
let's go and talk about your 4 individual titles. What events did you title in?
I titled in the 100 hurdles, the 100-meter dash, the 200-meter dash, and the 300 hurdles.
So a couple of those you had already had, not just only school records, state records, and you broke another school record, as I understand, while you were down there. What about breaking records is so much fun? I mean, as an athlete, I got to imagine pushing yourself to be the best and actually getting there. It's got to be real rewarding.
Yeah, it's really rewarding. It just is like a tangible achievement for all the work that I've put in, and I think that there's also something to be said about those that set the records before me, and I think that there's a relationship we have with them. Like, I've talked to a couple of them, records that I've broken, and it's really cool that we're able to support each other as a track community, and I think that also breaking those records encourages others to try and do that as well.
The word tangible is far too big for my show, but we appreciate it. So now let's go ahead and turn to the team title. That's a huge accomplishment for you guys. What does that mean to you to be not only just a part of it, winning four titles is 4 first-place points for your guys' team? That's a huge part of it. What does that mean to you on the team aspect side?
It means so much to me, and I think that it's just so awesome. We've had a really good relationship with everyone on the team this year, but winning the state track title is just the best thing that could have happened, and I'm just so excited for it because I've been working for it for the past 4 years, so I just love it.
This is nothing against our friends down in Panguitch, but knowing that it was Panguitch that you guys were able to beat out, knowing what happened in both the fall and winter seasons, a little bit of extra, motivation to win.
I think for all the girls on our team, there was some motivation, and we talk to them and we're friends with them, but it's just some healthy competition that I think makes the track season and the sport just so much more exciting and more enjoyable for everyone.
One final question for you. What advice would you give to other athletes that are heading into track to, become better at the sport? Because it seems like you have, I don't want to say mastered it, but you've learned the art of becoming a good track star.
I think that the first thing when first beginning track is you just have to be brave. And if you never try an event, you'll never know what could be possible for you in it. And I think that that's the very first thing, is to just try everything and don't be scared to fail, because that's what track is about more than other sports as well.
We want to thank Violet Taylor for being a part of today's show and, giving some insight into, I guess, what it's like to be a dominant track athlete, because I have no idea. And it's just, she's so humble about it too. And a story that really sticks out to me is last year, I think it was 3 state titles she won. And literally the next day she was out getting a workout in, getting ready for the next season. And that's the kind of athlete that Violet Taylor is.
Well, it's also just special that she won 4 state titles this year. You look past 2 years, that's 7 state titles in track and field.
And then also won one her sophomore year, I believe.
Yeah. It's just insane. You don't have much high school athletes in the whole entire country that can brag that, yeah, I have won 8 state titles.
Yeah, no, it's an incredible accomplishment. And we have to take a quick break, as we'll get back to more of Rich Track after this commercial break. Paige Smith is due up next, as we want to thank you for tuning in to the My Local Radio Homefield Advantage. Aaron Poling, Anthony Colasino, Elon Olive. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Hey there, I'm Jake Major, your local Medicare and insurance benefits advisor for the Bullock Agency of Wyoming. With over 25 years of experience protecting families in rural America, we understand the importance of having an affordable insurance coverage. Whether you're searching for extra coverage or looking to understand and switch your Medicare options, I can help you find a range of top-rated insurance companies and tailor-made packages based on your needs. Call me, Jake Major, today at 307-209-4685 and let's discuss your insurance options. We're the Bullock Agency of Wyoming, when benefits matter.
If you've never heard a mechanic say they truly care, then you've been at the wrong place. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff is a family-owned and operated business open since 1992. Offering all types of maintenance and repair services, you can be sure your vehicle is operating at its best. Whether your vehicle is older or the newest model, gas or diesel, we fix and maintain them all. Also offering chip repair, windshield replacement, and tires. When your vehicle needs a mechanic, bring it to the ones who truly care. Stacy's Repair in Woodruff.
Founded in 1938 with the hopes and dreams of serving the Bridger Valley, Benedict's Trading Company was started. Now 85 years and 3 generations later, Benedict's Market is still serving the Bridger Valley by offering the highest quality meats and fresh produce to having fresh baked items and hot deli options. Benedict's Market is your one-stop for all of your grocery needs. Benedict's Market offers the best services in a modern setting to make your shopping both quick and easy. Visit them today at 950 North Highway 414, Mountain View, Wyoming.
Life is better in the country. KNYN, Fort Bridger, Evanston, Woodruff, 99.1, the country you want to be in.
And we welcome you back to my local radio sports network, Homefield Advantage, brought to you by Jake Major with the Bullock Agency of Wyoming and Bear Lake Memorial Hospital. I also have to give a big thank you to Reese Auto, the station on Main, Heritage Auto of Evanston, Benedict's Ace and Market, and
Stacy's Repair.
Stacy's Repair. Thank you so much for your guys' support. Without you guys, none of this is possible. So thank you so much. Aaron, we're not done with that high school, that 1A girls state track championship for Rich, are we?
Nope. We have one more interview of a state champ, and that's going to be Paige Smith. The two other individual state champs, as Haiti Pugmire and Paige Smith, are the two remaining that we haven't heard from yet. But Paige kind of got the day off to a good start. If you remember back to the Coach Glenn Smith interview, he was talking about Paige and Lyda Taylor, Violet's younger sister, just really setting the tone in the 3200 and allowing the team to be like, okay, so that wasn't an event that they were quote-unquote expected to win, and Paige winning that event really set the tone for a couple more upset wins that they had, including Paige's high jump. We'll go to that interview right now.
Here with Paige Smith, who is a 2-time state champ individually in track, as well as a state champ for the Rich High School girls varsity track team. And Paige, you know, you run the 3200, you ran the 800, you run the mile, you run all the long distance races that don't seem like they're a ton of fun because they're a lot of running, but you're able to break record in the 3200. Go ahead and talk about 3200 real quick.
So I like how in the 3200 that I can just like get out and have a nice steady pace like for most of it, and it's not super fast like the mile, and I can like hold it, and then the last lap is where it like is fun, where I can just give everything I have left, and that's the best part of it.
So would you say that, because you're a cross country runner as well, would you say that kind of helps you out in the 3200?
Oh yeah, it definitely helps with my endurance and everything.
So let's go ahead and move along to the high jump. Going into the event, just kind of talking to people around track, it was kind of projected that you weren't expected to win that one, but you persevered through it and you ended up winning and you ended up jumping. What was your final jump?
It was 5.4. The girl that I was high jumping against I jumped with her at North Sevier, and she jumped 5.4, 5.5 there. So I was my PR was 5.1, so I wasn't expected to jump that high either. So
when you do finally hit 5.4, what's going through your mind? I mean, are you realizing that, hey, I just won, or just, hey, I just jumped over 5.4? What's going through your head as you're coming down to the mat?
Well, after I cleared 5.3, and I watched Tabitha miss it all 3 times, I turned to Lacey and I'm like, I just won state. And then I go and I jump the next one and I miss it. So I'm like, well, I actually run into the mat, so it doesn't count. So I take it, and the next time I clear it and I was excited, and I was like, that's the school record. I just beat Danelle out of it.
So you beat Janelle Wisden's school record then. Yeah, a little something to hold over her during volleyball season.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and talk about the team aspect now. You guys won state title for the first time since 2012. What about that is special to you? Because, I mean, it feels like that there was a lot of seniors that stepped up, but the real big part of you guys winning were the younger runners that did really, really well as well, and that was a huge part of coming out on top.
Yeah, we had a lot of people in the top 8 getting in the finals and everything, so it was good for them to get us those extra little points, and it was fun to cheer everybody on, and I love watching the relays and just cheering for them, and it's so fun. They helped a lot too.
One final question for you. Give me a memory that you'll have outside of winning the team title and winning your individual titles.
Losing my shoe in the 800.
I did say final question, but I wouldn't be doing my job as a journalist if I didn't poke a little bit more into the story. So what happened with your shoe?
So I was running the first 200, in the first 200, I was turning the corner, so I guess it was a little over that. But I got in a little bit early in front of Tabitha, and she flat tired me. So I tried to keep my shoe on for the next couple steps, and then I was like, I can't keep it on. I just gotta go. So I just leave my shoe, and I just run the next 600 without a shoe.
I think there's a little more we can add on to that story, but first we want to thank Paige Smith for being a part of today's show. But just in a phone call I had with Coach Smith, just kind of talking about the events and some of the things that happened. I guess the funny part about that is the girl that flat-tired Paige Smith, after the race, Paige and her were talking, and they're like, okay, let's go find your shoe. So it was her, I believe, one of the Henry girls, I believe it was Mallory, and then Addison Englehart, all from both of those two girls from Panguitch, searching up and down the track for Paige Smith's shoe, which is kind of funny because the track meets held at BYU, so I could see how a shoe could get lost with all those people there because it's 1 through 6A there. So there are an awful lot of people. So just 3 girls looking for a shoe after a race. I just kind of find that imagery kind of funny.
That is pretty funny. Man, what a year for Rich. I mean, going back to the fall, they win the football state title, runners-up in volleyball, runners-up in boys basketball, 3rd in girls basketball, I believe.
Yep, 3rd place in girls basketball.
And then they win girls state track title and boys state golf title.
Yep. Yeah, no,
what a year.
It's an incredible year. The trophy case is definitely filled up to the point of where now they have a couple of trophies just sitting on a window waiting for a place to be put in the trophy case. What a problem to have if you're Principal Jesse Calder trying to find room for more trophies.
You're just going to have to order another case.
I guess so.
You just got to order another because the winning's going to continue, right?
I guess that means we have to take a wall out somewhere and put more trophies in. Can I be a part of that? That's all I ask. No, but it's a great year, and it's kind of one of the things that I've really learned about the Utah 1A sports. There's a bit of a budding rivalry between Panguitch and Rich, and it's hard to call it a rivalry because the only time they play usually is either in a state preview or at the state tournament. But man, it feels like we run into them every state tournament. I mean, because even if you think you mentioned all of the all the things that Rich High School has done this year. In the games that the Rebels had lost this year, unfortunately, the opponent has always been Panguitch. So it's kind of, that rivalry, and it kind of goes between all sports where they want to get after each other, and I really enjoy the rivalry. But it's also good to hear that it's a friendly rivalry where they can go look for one of their opponent's shoes after a race.
That's always great when you see schools just helping out each other. But, speaking on that Panguitch, Rich, and kind of that rivalry that's developing, that's awesome. That's always great to see that 2 of probably the most winningest schools in 1A history in the state of Utah are, constantly up there and just competing for state titles.
Just a reminder, this is the final week of Homefield Advantage and the student section. After Thursday, we'll take a break until August when the school year kicks off again. But man, what a great way to kick off the final week, celebrating a state championship with Rich, and also a state championship for Kai Barker for Evanston as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just great to see throughout the entirety of the year that all of the schools that we cover, they've had a lot of success. This is one of the years where we can point to each and every school, and you can point out success that they've had, and it's awesome to see that.
Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, I think that's going to wrap it up for this Tuesday edition of Home Field Advantage. We'll be back tomorrow with our final student section of the 2023-2024 school year at 10:30 on mylocalradio.com and KNYN, and at 4 o'clock on KQ over on our sister station. So I'm Elon Olive.
I'm Aaron Bowling.
Anthony Colasino.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.